Evening and welcome to another edition of the Lall Show right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5 FM, where we tell it like it is. I want to say a very special good evening to all of our listeners and viewers from wherever in Guyana you are tuned in to Kaieteur Radio from. Now, before we jump into the program, a few housekeeping matters. Kaieteur Radio is streaming this show live on Kaieteur Radio's Facebook page, and there you can send us a comment or question on Mr. Lall's presentation or anything else you'd want to find out about Guyana's oil and gas sector. You can also send us a text or on 62222. You can send us a text on WhatsApp as well. And also the phone lines will be open. You can call us on 225-75473.
226.
Sorry about that. 226 57. Give the number again. 226-7453. A reminder of that number again, 226-7453. And in the studio with me this evening is the man of the hour, Mr. Glenn Lall, our very special guest behind the scenes, Mr. Bernard, and we will be joined by Mr. Kimal King, senior journalist of Kaieteur News, in just a bit. So with that very short introduction, Mr. Lall, I'd like to hand the baton over to you to begin your presentation.
Yes, thank you. Pump, baby, pump. The oil is all yours. Drill, baby, drill. Guyana's oil is all yours. Take it, baby, take it. That's what our leaders is saying to ExxonMobil. Take it, baby, pump it, baby, drill it, baby, it's yours. We have no say. Guyana, what Exxon is doing to us resembles this famous thing that used to happen in Guyana. Kick down door bandits. Kick open your door, beat you, shoot you, rape you, then rob you of everything you got. The only difference, Guyana, between kick down door bandits and ExxonMobil is that the bandits just come and do these things in the night while you're sleeping. But Exxon, doing it in front your eyes, our eyes, in broad daylight, while our eyes are wide open. And guess what? Nobody's saying anything. Imagine a thief man robbing you and you not even hollering. You're not saying anything. Just imagine that. Guys? And the people who helping the thieves is our leaders. You imagine that, Guyana? What is going on? You guys need to tell me. I need to hear something from you. Tell me something. Guys, have you ever heard the saying, time and tide waits for no man? Yes, that's true. Time is the essence of life. Time is everything. Time is love. Time is money. It is sad that only the oil people know that, and our leaders don't. You guys remember the opposition leader Joseph Harman promised to put together his oil team to talk to us, talk to the nation on our oil and gas. He was supposed to explain the role they played in the sector while they were in office. Well, yesterday he held a press conference and said, when asked again during his press conference, he said Patterson been on the radio and talk already about oil and gas. That's what he said. Just to let you know, Guyana, Patterson did participate in one radio program and said nothing. You hear me? Absolutely nothing on oil. Yet the opposition leader got the nerve to say, them done talk already. Yes, he closed the door on that subject matter. Wow. He is not willing to face this nation to tell us anything on our oil wealth. Although he specifically tell the nation over and over, he is putting together his oil team to answer all the questions we have in the oil sector. That's the game, brothers and sisters. The opposition leader, Joseph Harmon, and the rest of them playing with us and our livelihoods. I can only shake my head in disbelief. What about you? Are you hearing me clear? You know, I am so happy that I can talk and explain the little myself and this Kaieteur News team know about. What many of you don't know or ever heard before. I just want to say thanks for tuning in to this radio, and thanks for listening. A man said to me yesterday, Lall, when I listen to this program, I get upset. I told him what he has heard so far is nothing to what is to come. And I explained to him this oil business is so nasty and dirty that 500-gallon water tank, 500. What I have said so far isn't a single drop of water from one of those tanks, much less 500-gallon water tanks. That's how huge this story is, brothers and sisters. He asked me how I'd sleep, and I smiled. The leaders of this country is playing a game called merry-go-round with all our wealth, especially that oil wealth out there. And while we play in the game, running around, round and round, the oil companies, them clapping their hands, looking while they are setting traps on traps for all of us. Every single day is a new trap them setting. Tonight, I will tell you the latest traps them locking we down on. Them give away the oil blocks for free. And the oil money Guyana is getting, the crumbs, them walking away with the fat US dollars and leaving the pennies for us. Let me repeat again so you don't forget. We getting 2 barrels of oil on every 100 barrel of oil them bring up. Plus them walking away, paying no taxes whatsoever. Yes, it's true. Brothers and sisters, please listen to me carefully. When them done with Guyana, all of us will be using baskets to fetch water and calabash for beg on the roadside for food. The destruction they will cause in every area will cost Guyana more than the little crumbs they're throwing at us. Trust me on that. Wait and all of you will see. Oil is something used to take many, many years to finish in several countries. With today's technologies, Guyana, what used to take many years can take months. It can be finished in quarter of the time. So all of us will live to see the end of our oil and what we will become if we don't put a stop to this lawlessness our leaders going on with. Guyana, we will end up like so many countries with broken up infrastructures, broken hearts, and broken lives if we don't put a stop to this thing. It has happened and it's still happening all over the world. Just Google it and you will see it. It's there for anyone to see. Our leaders don't seem to understand this, or they don't care. If not, they would have been doing everything to correct the situation we're in now. That trap they're putting us in right now. This trap is to fetch away as much as they can and as fast as they can. You hear me? That's the trap they're putting us in. Them in a mad rush for carry away all the oil in a jiffy time. This is what I want to touch on tonight, guys. So let me tell you now, good night to all of you. The deal, yes, the deal we signed with Exxon, that deal Exxon got, it is so sweet. It is so sweet. If we give them a chance, they would empty those oil basins in a day. It's the best thing ever happened to Exxon and their partners in this 21st century we live in. Them sell out all over the world to come here. You hear that? All over the world they sell out to come here. They got a deal of a lifetime. That is the reason they are on a roll to get it out and get it out as fast as possible. It's not because oil going out of style and renewable will kick in. No. It's because them get it free. And big money is there for them and them only. Let me say this. Please hear me loud. Oil has nowhere to go. Oil will never go out of style, never. There will always be the need for oil. 100 years from now. I will come to that later. But let me ask you, if you get a sweetheart deal on a mango tree for a day, would you waste time? You would want to pick out as much as you can and as fast as possible. Not true, Bernard?
Definitely.
It's free. And above all, it tastes good. And it also doesn't cost much to pick. It's not hard to pick. So you would hustle to empty the mango tree. Exxon, always remember Exxon. That is that's exactly what Exxon doing or wants to do to Guyana. New Thriving said tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., eat everything you can for $200. what would you do? Cook home? No. You ain't going to cook home. You're going to oil your pot and turn it over for the day. And you will try to overeat too. Because it's for free. Yes. That's the nature of mankind. Freeness and cheapness and money. Who misses that? Who misses out on that? No one. Listen, if a man tell you to come in his yard Saturday and take vegetables, you would go and take as much as you can and carry it away. You might want to take 20 trips per day, for the day. Yes, you will grab as much as you can because the man tell you take it, it's free. Well, Guyana, that is where our leaders putting Guyana with ExxonMobil and our oil. That's exactly what I said there. That's where Guyana has offered ExxonMobil with our oil. We give them the best deal in the world. Now our leaders telling them, pump Exxon, pump. Pump, baby, pump. Pump how much y'all want and take it. That's where we are at present with our oil and gas, brothers and sisters. And what you get in? Yes, we collecting 2 barrels, like I said, of every 100 barrel them bring up. Isn't this a beautiful country? I would have liked to be ExxonMobil. Hey, brother? Lovely leaders we have, man. They're very smart rulers. What you say, Kimo? These are very smart people. Nowhere in the world we can find such a sweetheart contract. And everybody knows that here. And the world knows that too. The only people who don't know that is our leaders who sign them contracts. Many oil experts say it's the worst oil deal that they have ever seen, including our next door neighbors. You guys saw what Suriname got as to what we settled for. You know, many countries leaving them oil in the ground and under the seabed and coming for hours. Why, Bernard? Why? Why, Guyana? If oil was going out, then them would have been the first to empty theirs and sell it out. Not true, man?
Definitely.
Let me ask, if you have something that will be of no use in a few months' time, would you want to get rid of it?
Definitely.
Of course we want to get rid of it. You will not keep it and go after more of the same things. No. If you do that, then you're certain that it's not going out of style. Not true? Yeah. But no, them leave them oil and rushing for hours, telling us it will have no value in a few years' time. You hear that? Them here for our oil, telling us that it will have no value in a few years' time. When I listen to these tricksters, Guyana, and the game them want to pull on us, I can only smile and say, these people see us as a set of fools, ready to spin us round and round, round and round on the merry-go-round. Maybe some of our leaders' heads still spinning that make they can't function properly. Or maybe they drink too much. Or maybe they collect the Sutton. You know what I mean. I don't have to spell that out. What do you say, Guyana? What do you say there, Shakima? Now, them in a rush to carry away all our oil overnight. And our leaders, yes, our leaders is giving the go-ahead, leaving all Guyana in the dark. We don't even hear anything from them. I wanted to play a piece of recording in which our vice president talked about this oil production and giveaway. But I'll say it because I don't want to take up time. He played games. Listen how they're telling us through press conference. Well, I don't think any one of y'all heard or understand. Yes, in one line. The whole press conference, and they say it in one line. That's the kind of regard them have for us. This is a very, very serious development added to that lopsided oil contracts, guys. Let me explain. We are in control of that oil, that mango tree, not them. We are in control. You must direct the speed in which the oil comes up. So our citizens, me and you, Guyana, can get more money from it. Let me give you a simple example how they can do it. By not stopping the oil operation. The price for oil is nothing now. Why allow them to empty it quickly? Why would you do that? You wait until the price goes up, and then you can say, bring it up as fast as you want. That's a smart move. You agree with me, man? That's a smart move. Man, we don't have to go to school to know this. Any vendor selling sweetie at the road corner understand that. When the price goes up, is more money coming our way. But guess what? Exxon wants it all now. You think they're selling it? No, they're not selling it. They're storing it for when the price goes up. So, you tell me, we have anywhere to store it? So who's making the cash? Guyana? No. The price is low, they bring it up and they give you now. They give you 2% and whatever price it's selling for. And them keeping them on. Last year, when Hess took them share of oil, them know that if they had sold it right away, them would have get little or nothing. The prices were too low at the time. You know what they did, Guyana? Them rented large vessels, oil ships, and stored the oil. They had the ships floating all over the sea, waiting for the right price to sell. Then they cashed in. What Guyana did with them 2 barrels, they sell it, they had to sell it and collect the next to nothing. while the oil company can afford to store theirs for the right price. If I am not lying, them must have been the ones who buy ours at the low price and store it. And that is what they are planning to do in every shipment that's coming our way. So that's one of the reasons they're pushing ahead with bringing it up. Bring it up, baby, bring it up. Bring up all as quickly as possible so they can get more in their pockets from this deal. Guys, you see the three-card game they're pulling on us? And our leaders buying into that. Hear a little more about the three-card game. Here, what they're pulling on us. Them trying to convince us that if more renewables are used, the demand for oil will go down. They want us to think that nobody will want oil and that our sweet, light crude will be of no use. You hear that, brothers and sisters? That's their line. Some of you may want to know, what is renewables? Renewables is the new, increasingly popular form of energy, such as solar, wind turbine, hydropower. Them is the new thing and direction the world is heading into to give us cheap electricity. Different way of giving it. And they will be powering vehicles, electric vehicles, trains. And I heard we will soon have electric planes sometime in the future. So you will not need much fuel. That's the line they're pushing. That's the line them using for fetch away all our oil in a hurry. And our leaders falling for that trap. Yes, brothers and sisters, the world is heading down that road, but not in a hurry. Oil and gas will still be needed. A matter of fact, many experts saying oil will forever be needed. This is what 5 US oil experts had to say on oil and gas recently. Let me quote them. The people said oil and gas will play a very important role in the energy mix throughout our forecasting period. Although we expect renewable energy source to take an increasing share of the mix, we forecast oil and gas to amount for 44% of the world's primary energy supply in 2050. The 5 people said that. There are 5 experts. Even though the use of renewables is expected to grow faster than fossil fuels, the U.S. Energy Information Administration, the EIA, says coal, oil, and natural gas will still account for 77% of our energy in 2040. Let me repeat that. The people say coal, oil, and natural gas will still account for 77% of our energy in 2040. That's 20 years from now. So you can see clear why these countries leaving their oil and is here to take ours. Them know oil will never go out of business. Oil will never go out of style. Oil, there will always be money in oil. That's why them keeping them ones. They're keeping all theirs. Our neighbor Suriname is one of them. They find oil last year. We all know that. And said plainly, they are not in a hurry for bring up their oil. You hear that, guys? Suriname is not in a hurry to bring up theirs. Nobody else in the world in the oil and gas business buying that crap, that line, that oil gonna disappear and renewable will take over the market. It's only our leaders falling for that and wants to give away our oil as fast as possible. So this narrow window our leaders is talking about is pure hogwash. It's nonsense. Listen what Suriname oil boss had to say when asked how his country handling the quick bring up of their oil. The man said, them believe that oil will be in the energy mix for decades to come. So there is no need to pump all of it out of the ground as fast as possible. He said, while the topic is a sensitive one, he advocates for the preservation of Suriname's biodiversity. He went on to say, them believe that oil will be the energy mix in the coming 100 years. You hear that? Oil will be there in the energy mix for the next 100 years. He said the demand for oil will reduce and estimates that between 2030 and 2015, the world will see a peak demand. You hear me, guys? He said by 2030 to 2050, 30 years, 20 years, the world will see a peak demand. Wow. Wow. And our leaders are sent to give it away even before 2030. You hear what the Suriname boss said there, bro? Are you understand what the Suriname man said there? They're not in a hurry. And them know 2030 to 2050, you will need it. But the energy demand, the man went on to say, but the energy demand will keep going up. He says, so that means that there will be more and more renewables in there. And we, listen this, we, Suriname and Guyana, should also look at the renewables and start investing in them. One of the big things that we should look at together, he said, is our biodiversity. And be able to say, let's preserve that for future generations. Because our natural resources will never go out like oil. He said that will never go out like oil. Of between the bauxite, gold, and the other natural resources that we have. The guy said, notwithstanding this, he said that the cost for Guyana and Suriname to produce its high quality oil is very low. It's very cheap. So we will be in the energy mix for the coming 100 years because it's cheap to bring up. There will be no competition there. We have the sweet crude, the sweetest crude, and it's cheap to bring up. So nobody will run anywhere else but Guyana. This is actually what the man is saying. So keep your oil. Don't be in no rush to take it away. Wow. The man said, I am not worried about that. He's not worried about that. Wow. However, the PPP government says it wants to go ahead with aggressive production. I wonder why. I wonder why. You know, ever since the PPPC took office in August last year, Kaieteur News had published a list of 20 things which the new government must do to set the oil industry on the right path. A path that would allow the nation to build its capabilities, to properly govern and rake in money from our oil. High on that list was the creation of a depletion policy. What that mean? Depletion policy. A depletion policy would put us in charge to decide how fast or how slow Guyana must extract its oil. Nothing like that is in place at this moment. We have Exxon doing what they want out there, and we are not saying anything. You know, some people call me the mango man now, and I am happy. I'm glad. I said thank you. Your mango tree, and you can't tell the pickers how much to pick or when to pick. What kind of leader you be? What kind of leaders we have in this country? You tell me. Your mango tree, and you, the owner, can't tell the people how much to pick and when to pick. You hear that? So I am still the mango man. You know, if the oil price is down, you know, if the mango price is down, you can tell the guys to slow down. But no one saying a word. Instead, we government is on the opposite to that. Pump, baby, pump. Pump to collect your pennies. Several locals, regional and international stakeholders have asked for Guyana to have that policy that slows the aggressive rate of extraction by ExxonMobil. Otherwise, the country would be left extremely overwhelmed and on a dangerous, rocky road. You hear that? Regional and international bodies saying that. Taking that into account, the Vice President, Mr. Jagdeo, was asked in November 2020 during one of his press conferences to state the government's position, the government interest in implementing a policy that would slow down the rate of extraction. At that time, he did not give any commitment or guarantee that the government would be inclined to walk that route. But he did say his personal view is that there should be aggressive oil production. Take it out quickly. That was his view, and that was his personal view. He was saying, take it, baby. It's all yours. But he was saying in his personal view. That's his he wasn't speaking on behalf of the government. But here it is. Weeks later, without any consultation, without telling Guyana anything on this matter, we learned that the Vice President Jagdeo personal position has become the bedrock of what the PPP sees depletion policy for the nation would be. So his view there, empty it, baby, empty it, has now become the PPP policy. That policy, for the time being, says, drill, baby. You go ahead and drill. During an interview on the Kaieteur radio on December 23rd, the Vice President said that Kaieteur News has often reported that the PPPC is yet to define a depletion policy. He stressed, however, that the government has already done so by means of personal accounts rather than facts or research. The Vice President said, my own view is that we have a period in which oil would still be very relevant in the global mix of energy. His words, he said so. And he said, we have a period, but it is a window that is closing because of climate change. The window for Guyana will be open a little longer for us than other countries because our oil is cheaper to extract. We have the best oil, cheap to bring up. Man, oh man, just wait until the price go up, nobody. Please, if it's cheap to bring up, wait, na man. Why you in a rush to collect penny now? Wait so we can make some real money. He said the world's leading economies, China and the USA, have made it pellucid, made it clear, very clear, that they will be heading to renewables energy. In fact, China, the world's biggest energy consumer, aims to achieve carbon neutrality before 2060. As for the US, President-elect Joe Biden has declared intentions to increase the nation's switch to renewable energy. Considering the implications of climate change and the global transition to cleaner energy sources, Jagdev said that demand for fossil fuel is either going to be static or declining in 15 to 20 years' time. Although everybody is saying, hey, 2050, 2060. Our Vice President said, 10, 15, 20 years is done. We ain't gonna need that. He said that this is what has influenced, this is what he said. He said this is what has influenced the PPPC position to extract the oil as quickly as possible. Wow. Oh my God. Then he said he's going to use portions of it to build world-class infrastructure and education, while he planned to put aside some for future generations. Yes. Empty the basin quickly and collect the pennies to build world-class infrastructure and education, and left a little change for the future grandchildren and great-grandchildren to come. Let me say this with certainty, brothers and sisters. The little money we will get would not even be able to lift our own lives, much less future generations. We will be left with more debts than you guys would ever dreamed of or think of. Let me stop here for now, and let me say good night again, and thanks for listening. Let me hear from you guys. I've said a lot.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Lall, for your presentation. And at this point on the program, we'll take a very quick commercial break so the viewers and listeners can get to digest what you have said. And we'll be right back to take your questions. All right, welcome back to the Glenn Lall Show right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. So the phone lines are currently open, so you guys can call us in 226-7453, or you can send us a text on 62222. You can also send us any questions or comments on the Facebook Live and Kaieteur Radio's Facebook page on Mr. Lall's presentation, or whatever you want to find out about Guyana's oil and gas industry. I think we have our special guest wants to make an input, so I'll hand the mic over to him.
Yes, good night, everyone. Glenn, oil was $120 a barrel not too long ago, just a few years ago, right? And that is less than, and now it is less than half of that. It's like about $60 a barrel right now, right? So why are we in a hurry to take out oil? If you have to, all we have to do, oil goes in cycles, up and down, up and down. So all we have to do is wait a few years, right? Then we could take out the most when the price goes up. So what's your take on that?
Well, they're pushing for that because, Bernard, remember they closed down all their operations all over because it's too expensive for them there. So they have to pump. They have to pump to service the market. You understand? So this is why they're in a rush. And Jagdeo and Harmon and all these guys doesn't understand that. Remember, these guys have a market. There's a market out there. So they have to fulfill that market that they have. Because they close all the rest of the places.
Yes,
Had they had them places running, they didn't have to pump so much here. But because they closed down there, they have to pump here to meet the demand.
Yes, they close the North Sea because the North Sea is a lot more expensive to bring it up than Guyana. The cost to operate is a lot more. So
Yes,
they sold it all out. All the North Sea assets extra sold out.
Yes. And if the price should drop tomorrow, it doesn't affect them. It affects us because they can store their own. We ain't got nothing to store ours.
Not only that, the U.S. has this what's called a strategic petroleum reserve, and they have reserve for like years and decades that they store. So they have already built up storage capacity for hundreds of millions of barrels. Hundreds of millions.
I think it's 20 or 25 years they have.
Yes.
They have storage capacity.
So they already have the storage capacity thing. So we don't.
That's right. And our leaders doesn't want to hear that. Or it seems that they doesn't care.
Shouldn't we be building our strategic reserve also to store ours? That would make a little sense, right?
It's costly. We should not be doing that. We should be in control of how we pick the mangoes, how we bring up this oil. It's our oil. We have to determine. We must be the one to tell them, no, don't bring it up so quick. Let us wait 2030 when the price kicks in. Right? We'll make money then.
You have to educate again. It will one other thing. When you bring up the oil too fast, you will slow down the rate of the flow of the oil, and you could even cut the flow of oil if you pull out too much at one time, because the oil drains into wherever the central point of where you're drilling from.
Mhm.
So we could even lose more by pumping it out too fast.
All right, Mr. Lall, I think we have a caller on. Caller, good evening. Returning to
Hi,
Kaieteur.
good evening,
I'd like to
Tina.
ask you to remove from your radio set for me before you start speaking.
I done load on already.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, I feel real disappointed today, man, with Mr. Harman rhetoric. Right? They fail me again. They even fail to win the election. They even fail to rig the election. Now they fail you with the aisle again. And all them activities that you got planned next with Jaguar, all the activities, it's childish and it's a failure again. Thank you, man. I feel disappointed with the aisle.
Thank you, thank you, guy. Thank you. Yes.
All right, we have another. Oh,
Okay, let me just remind persons, if you want to contact us. This is Kemal King speaking. Do not call the smartphone. I see people calling the company cell phone, and that's where you send in your messages. You call on 226-7453 if you want to get in. So with that, I have a question on the smartphone. Someone says, Mr. Lall, the way you speak on oil and gas issues, you appear to be an expert. They want to know, how would you strategically manage the oil and gas sector if you were in charge?
There are so many things we have to put in place, Kimal. Thanks for that question. Running the oil sector is it's a big thing. It's a huge thing, but there's only one way you run business. You have to first understand the business, and once you understand the business, you understand the loopholes. You understand here and there where you can get conned, where you can get robbed, and you settle that. But first and foremost, you have to understand business. And when you understand business, you can control that. That's not a hard thing. I am not an expert. I understand a thing or two, but the right thing to do, I would bring in all the experts who understand the business. You know, I am so sad that my Trini friend died. But that guy understands so much. 6 weeks I spent with him every day. You know, he have taught me so much. I'm so blessed to have met him. Happy. He have taught me so many things that I couldn't learn that in 10 years. This is why we need to speak to experts. We need to bring experts in so that they can guide and show you and tell us, well, listen, these are the tricks in the trade. This is how you can be conned. It's not a hard business to run.
You need to slow it down.
But you just have to be honest if you're to manage the sector. Like Suriname, you see what Suriname is doing. You got to be honest. And I don't think we have honest leaders in this land. No.
Okay, so Mr. Lall, someone is asking a question here about bauxite. When the vice president came on the show on the 23rd of December, he made an argument when he was talking about his unwritten depletion policy, about how Guyana was so fortunate before because of the high demand for bauxite. And he said, moving on now, the demand is not so high. And that's where he took his example from to come up with the policies that Guyana should pump its oil out as quickly as possible. What do you think of that argument?
That's a very stupid argument. That's a low argument. That line he's using can't hold water, my friend. Bauxite always have market. But the only reason why their people are here is because they get it free. They get it free. As a matter of fact, Guyana is paying them to take our bauxite. You understand what I'm saying? And we are getting nothing. For 2 years, we give the bauxite company, we carry that story, $100 million US in concessions. And what we got? Check what we got. We got nothing. The people keep declaring losses all the time.
And selling the fuel duty free.
Plus, they were selling the duty-free fuel, competing with our market. So, in every business, there's a sweet deal in it. Look, Oh My is back here, and we cannot see Oh My contract. Why? What are they hiding from us? Maybe we are paying Oh My to thief the gold too. You understand? Come and just take it. You pay them to take your gold. You pay them to take the timber. You pay them to take everything. And that is something I can't understand. Why we, the people, cannot see and know what is in the contract between Guyana and Oh My. We need to see that.
Glenn, you said Guyana was like an abused woman.
Yes.
It more and more, every and anybody could come and rape and do as they pleased
Exactly.
with her. Like you said, Oh My's come back again. Oh My came, took away millions of ounces of gold, and then left us with a cyanide spill that killed how many, that polluted our rivers.
Destroy.
And they gone, destroyed our natural resources, our natural environment. And they're gone, and now they're coming back again.
They're here.
They're here, right? But we are like you said, the analogy you made, Guyana is like an abused woman.
Life, yeah.
Everybody coming and abuse her again.
But you see, Bernard, the people doesn't know. I think if Guyana will wake up, they will wake up. But they can only wake up if they know what's taking place. And this is how the PPP and the PNC wants the citizens of this land to remain. You must remain in the dark, you must remain dumb, and they make the rules and the regulations. They fill their pockets. Once their pockets is okay, once their family and their friends are okay, hey, to hell with Guyana. And this is how they've been ruling and running this nation for umpteen years. There isn't a single deal, like I said, there isn't a single deal these people make public and tell us we're here. Guyana, we are going to build a stable. The stable will cost so much. We'll throw it in the open market for tender, and this is what we got. Hey, is this a good deal? Yeah. Yes or no? They are not doing that. That's how countries are being run. And that's how Guyana should be run. But everything is secret with these people. And we are left in the dark. You know, for the last 26 years I've been in the newspaper business, we are the only media houses that ask these type of questions. Look, you guys would have never known that airport costs 150 counting million US dollars. For what? Couple zinc sheet they change.
Plus another 11 million US.
Correct. And couple plywood and board they change there. Nothing has changed here.
All right,
Okay.
Mr. Lall, as we are winding down to the last few moments of the program, we have another caller on here.
Yeah, take the calls.
A lot of calls. Hello, good evening. You're tuning to Kaieteur Radio. Can
Hello?
you move away from your radio set, please? Because we're getting feedback in the studio.
I don't have a radio playing here right now.
Okay, you can speak.
Hey, good night to everybody across Guyana and whoever listening across the world. I want to say thank you guys for doing a great job. I have a couple of issues that I wanted to ask. One, why is every minister, since Mike Pompeo went to Guyana, and you guys can go back and look at it, since he went to Guyana, right, every minister from every department is busy. They are not looking after the people of Guyana. They're always busy. Oh, they're it was published on the internet. It said that these people are busy with international meetings, and they are now worrying about the poor people of Guyana. The second thing that I want to ask, why the president is not coming on Glenn Lall's show and answer all these questions and put it to rest. Thirdly, these guys are trying to get this oil up from the ground quick as possible to fill their bank account. And like I said this before, every criminal and crook in the government of Guyana need to go to jail every corrupt government, how long corruption don't stop in Guyana, nothing will not run right. Honestly,
I agree.
you know, it's sad to know our country have so much wealth and we are not getting nothing from it. Outside investor, outside company that you never hear about is going to Guyana and claiming stake there. We are not even getting the SOA.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Correct.
even the draft we not get.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I hear you, bro.
Oh my God.
Yes. Listen, man. You see,
Man.
you just have to continue listening. As we bring it to you, you can also read it you can go online and read it. You can or pick up a copy of the Kaieteur News. You know, we reported all these things several years ago, and we continue to do it on a daily basis. You ask me why President Ali doesn't come on the program. I have no problem with any one of them to come on the program. As a matter of fact, I invited everyone, the opposition, the government, and even all the oil players. They can come. The station is open for this type of discussion and debate. I went so far to tell them, I said, listen, if you guys don't want to come, school your people and send them to come and defend themselves and defend the oil.
Yep.
So even if they come and they talk out of context, you know, the nation will say, well, okay, that's not the government position. That's his or her position. But we just need to hear from them. We need to know what's going on. And they need to answer. These are not questions, my friend. These are things what they have to put in place to safeguard me and you and all Guyana.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Glenn,
Yes.
I have two things to add, right? One, right? I hear last week you speak about you play a recording with the president, right?
Yeah.
Guyana president, right? Ali. And he gave a powerful statement, and he don't have a spine. He's a spineless president. He's not standing behind that statement.
Well, his statement.
And secondly, I want to ask all the Guyanese people who are listening to this program across the world, are you know what is sugar water? Are you know what is rice mar? Are you know what is rice flour? Are you want to go back to that time?
Well, that's exactly where we will be if we don't demand from our leaders. Watch them in the face and tell them you guys need to fix these things. If not, we will end up drinking sugar water and eat mar. Thank you.
Yeah, and drink black water from back down. Some of these people are saying they don't know what is black water, they don't know what is sugar water, they don't know what is mar and rice flour.
We will end up there, brother. If we don't get a change, that's where we are heading. Thank you.
No.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you to that caller, Mr. Lall, as we went on to the last few.
I am so happy, Shakima, that people like them begin
they're
to
calling
understand what's going on. People are waking up, and we have to wake up the people.
All right, I'll just ask you for your closing
Why,
statements
you
at
finished?
this
You got
point.
more call?
In your closing statement, Mr.
Well, the vice president has given his own unwritten idea of what the policy should be. Could you give the public an idea of what a Glen Lall depletion policy would be? What would it be centered around? When should the production be its highest? When should we keep production low?
I just talked about it. You weren't in here.
Ah.
The depletion policy gives us the right to decide how much and when we bring up the oil. You understand? And if the price of oil is down, you slow down the production. Right? You say, guys, hold. You cannot bring up so much because we will be losing. You bring up to take care of the operation, right? Because you don't want to close the operation now. You bring up that will pay the operation and the operational costs and stuff like that, and it will probably give you a little penny now and again. And as the price go up, then you must say, hey guys, let's get rolling with it. That's what a depletion policy is all about. You must be in control as to the fast or the slow pace. You understand? In which you pick the mango or which you bring up the oil. And it's only the mango man saying that.
That's why Suriname is not in a hurry to bring up their oil because
Exactly.
the price is low right now.
Exactly.
And the price will be going up, but when the price gets to a certain level, then Suriname is going to go ahead and...
Right. Exxon is Suriname is setting the stage right now for all that. You know, when the price is ready, they'll say, hey guys, let's get going. And they're confident. Suriname is confident with the cheapness to bring up our oil. Oil will be needed for the next 100 years. So you would always be fitting in there because you got two things on your hand. You got the sweetest crude and it's cheap to bring up. It's like you have the best mango on earth and the thing is cheap for pick. So it means that you can compete with anybody in the world. And you can even call your shots too because your mango is the sweetest mango. So they will run to your mango field and to you first before they go anywhere else. Hence, the world is saying, guys, hold your mango. Take control of your mango. Take control of your oil. Instead, our leaders have Exxon directing the show, taking control of our oil. This is crazy. This is total nonsense.
You know, Mr. Lall, I see and hear the Vice President's arguments about why they should pump oil as fast as possible. But I think that this argument is compounded by something that both these major parties have refused to say, and that is that they're hamstrung by their need to do as much as they can in the 5 years before the next election. Because the APNU AFC, when they were in government, they did the same thing. They wasted time not giving us the safeguards that we needed to protect ourselves. And they wanted to show the company that they gave Guyana first oil. And that they wanted to show people that, okay, we got this significant revenue inflow. And it seems like this is the same thing that the PPP wants to do right now. To keep production so high that they try to take credit for the revenue inflows that we're getting. I mean, for me, my 2 cents is what our oil industry is right now is that it's revolving around a lot of abuses and a very bad contract. So what I would do, if it were me, keep production at a fair level while you ramp up Guyana's technical capability and get a better deal. And then you can talk about ramping up production.
Perfect. Kimal, you have heard Patterson on one of the radio programs. This guy was so happy that he said, I am the one who initiated the Gas to Shore project. You know, he was so happy to tell the nation that. And when Melinda Janke asked him, did you do a feasibility study? He was like, what is that? He's like, these guys doesn't even understand that, you know? And he felt so little and so small that I watched that program and I watched how his face as he reacted. You happy to tell people you initiate Gas to Shore project and didn't do a study to see whether this thing will make money, if Guyana will benefit or not. You know? What type of leaders these guys are? But he happy for say, hey, I am the one, and clapping his chest. But when the people done with him, you had to look at his face, the expression. He was like sailing. He's like I talking to my grandchildren them about some export business.
They are just convenient tools for ExxonMobil. They do everything for ExxonMobil.
It's not only everything, it's that they don't know what they're talking or what they're doing.
Exxon forced that on them, son, and they think, oh, I get this bright idea.
Yes,
Exxon giving you,
yes.
bring the gas to show, oh, it's a bright idea, I came up with.
Exactly. It's a bright idea. You know? It's sad.
All right, Mr. Lall.
It's sad. It's sad. You want me close? I'll close. I'll close. Guyana, like that young man that called, that said it's sad. I agree with him. Guyana, it is sad. But I just want to add one word to it. It's frightening what's going on in this land. And you, the people is in the dark. You guys hoping, yes, you're hoping that money will come. Money ain't gonna come, Guyana. Please, do have a pleasant night. God bless you all. And I think you guys have to say a special prayer for our leaders. Good night again.